Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Rissoux bringing you guys my first team builder for the first week of WPF B Division. I'm facing off against Insanity Fang. I think he goes by just Fang now, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun game. So I'm going to get into the overall matchup right now. As you can see on screen, he's got Heliolisk, Garchomp, Zapdos, Galar, Basculin, which I am not expecting to come at all, so if he brings it, power to him. Necrozma, Alomomola, excuse me, whatever that stupid fucking fish is called. Porygon 2, Mega Maw, Marowak, Alola, and Dhelmise. So off the bat here, you can see that Dragapult has a fantastic matchup. It does sort of struggle against his two ghost immunities, but because I've got access to U-turn, it really just kind of clicks buttons. So notable parts about his team is that he only has Dhelmise for hazard removal, which means there's no defog at all. So we'll be looking to take advantage of that with our team strategy going forward this week, and we'll see how it goes. His team doesn't really like momentum from my team. I'm not bringing too much, but he's got really hard-hitting mons to get into, but they're all physical. So between Garchomp, Mega Maw, Marowak, and Zapdos, his four main points of offense are all physical. I would say that Necrozma warrants concern, obviously, with special sets, but unless he's like a Calm Mind, Power Gem variant, he doesn't really get through Mandibuzz. So I think he's really got to pick his offensive pieces carefully this week, because he's got to get through Mandibuzz somehow, and yeah, we'll see how he plans to do that. But we'll, I guess, go ahead and get into my mons now to see what's up. So the first one I'm bringing is Dragapult, right? So named it Trebuchet, like the old siege weapons of medieval times. But one of the first things I saw when looking at his team was that he really did not appreciate splitting investment in his mons, right? So Alomomola, if it comes, it probably should come, will probably be fully physical defensive, as well as Porygon 2, maybe. Actually, no, Porygon 2 will probably be specially bulky, because it's never staying in on Mega Medicham anyway, but Porygon 2 has such a fantastic matchup against Dragapult that it comes in reliably enough that every time I'm clicking U-turn until like mid to late game when things are really chipped, and then I can bring in Dragapult to just sort of clean up. Barring like Scarf Zapdos, I don't think he has a lot of good ways to revenge. He can't really Scarf Garchomp, but he can run the sort of annoying Swords Dance Scale Shot sets. So I am sort of relying on like a Stone Edge miss there. If he decides to run something like Swords Dance, Scale Shot, Earthquake, and Stone Edge, he really is going to hurt Mandibuzz, and that won't be great for me, but we'll see how it goes. I think I'll be able to mitigate that with my supportive utility options. But Dragapult really should be able to just kind of click buttons for most of the game. I'm running Expert Belt on it to make use of the fact that I'm hitting almost everything on his team for super effective damage, and the things that I'm just U-turning out on anyway, right? So between Dhelmise, Marowak, Mawile, Necrozma, and even Heliolisk, I'm getting a boosted damage output from Dragapult, which is awesome. I don't have to worry about running like boots or anything. He doesn't have sticky webs, it's just stealth rocks. I will note, though, I have to be really careful about proccing a Necrozma weakness policy. I would be able to revenge it if I procced it with the U-turn by immediately going into Mandibuzz. Maybe, depending on his set, right? Because I'm running, well, we'll get into Mandibuzz here in a minute, but I just need to watch out for Necrozma, because I have the pieces to counter it, but it would make me use more capital to deal with it than really is worth. So I may be hard switching at the very beginning of the game just to make sure he's not trying to get that weakness policy on a weak U-turn, but we will see what happens. So then the next mon that I've got here is Mandibuzz. So fairly standard sets I'm bringing this week. Beaky is the nickname for this one. If you guys remember the old Cartoon Network cartoon of the vulture, right? The stupid looking kind of derp vulture. His name was Beaky, and that's what I named it after. So that's funny. But so I'm running Big Pecs. So the reason I'm running Big Pecs this week, it's not just because it's the standard ability, but also because Thunderous Kick from Zapdos is the only way he gets through a full health Mandibuzz, right? So I'm not running flying coverage, or flying stab rather, on Mandibuzz this week because I can't really fit it. I wanted to make sure I had U-turn to get me into the pieces that I needed to get into. But if he's running a sort of bulk up Zapdos, that could be fairly problematic. I'm running Draco Meteor on Dragapult because that will be one of the primary ways that I get chip on it in the instance that he is that setup sort of bulk up variant. I'm really expecting the Scarf Zapdos, but we'll see what happens. So between Draco Meteor from Dragapult and then Foul Play, even though it's a resisted move, it's still going to be a +1 Zapdos, a +1 attack rather. So that should be able to KO it between the two of them. But yeah, so protecting against the defense drops from Thunderous Kick is pretty good, I would say. He does, so the only hazards he has access to are Stealth Rocks, and I definitely don't want to take that for granted and run something like Leftovers on Mandibuzz, because then my 75% health Mandibuzz after a Stealth Rock switch in suddenly is two-shotted by like Zapdos Close Combat, right? Which isn't great. So it's mainly a sort of utility anti-setup variant, right? So like the Weakness Policy and the Necrozma, if he isn't Power Gem, I think that's the only way he gets through Mandibuzz. And if I were to accidentally proc his Weakness Policy, getting him with the Foul Play, the +2 attack obviously would OHKO him back. But otherwise, Taunt is there for annoying mons like Alomomola. That's his only sort of team support option he has. So Healing Wish and then Wish itself is very annoying for my larger game plan, which is to chip him down with hazards, and Taunt prevents him from doing that. He could still like knock off my boots or Skull Burn me or something like that, and that's not great, but it's better than that. The other part that I need to watch out for this week is going to be a download Porygon 2, because of a lot of the Pokemon that I'm running have physical defense, like Mandibuzz. Porygon 2 runs download and gets fairly reliable special attack boost most of the time. And one of the failings of my team is an overabundant ice weakness, right? So apart from Arcanine, I think the only mon that I'm bringing this week that actually resists ice, no, that is it. It's just Arcanine. So a lot of defensive weight on Arcanine this week, which I'll get into here in a moment. But I will mostly be taunting the Porygon 2 with this, or Nidoqueen, which I'll get into here in a moment, which are susceptible to those potentially +1 Ice Beams. I think he has to bring like Ice Beam, Foul Play, Recover, Trick Room on his Porygon 2, because otherwise I can do annoying Dragapult things like the sub disable sets, right? Which don't ultimately beat Porygon, but are annoying enough for him, because he'll eventually have to switch out of Porygon in that instance, right, into something that would not want to take the Wisp or the Hex. So he's got to bring those two coverage moves. I don't see a world in which he doesn't bring Ice Beam on Porygon, so that'll have to be something that I look out for mid-match, or beginning of the match rather. So Medicham, I don't think Medicham will wind up living past turn 15. If I can get Medicham in against something like Alomomola or Porygon even, that would be a favorable dynamic to me, is that if I can like lead Dragapult, right? Dragapult U-turns on almost everything, or hard switches rather, into this, predicting the Porygon 2 to come in. Turn 2, I've got a Medicham that can almost freely bulk up, and then he's got nothing that really wants to switch in. A Marowak will probably not be that invested into bulk. Yeah, that's really it. Yeah, so the only things that he would want to switch in would be obviously the Marowak to soak the normal or the fighting move, or Necrozma just as a general defensive check because it resists my dual stab. I don't see anything else that wants to take like a +1 Zen Headbutt, right? So he could get Trick Room up, but it's going to cost him. And that's the sort of exchange that I'm looking to force early on, because if I can get rid of the Porygon or severely dent something coming in, that's really all that I can expect from Medicham. And short of like Zapdos, there aren't a lot of ways that he's killing me at +1 defense rather. So like even Alomomola can't reliably switch in, even a very defensive one, because I'm just going to Drain Punch the Rocky Helmet damage back, right? So double edge is there just for the Necrozma, because I didn't really have another move that I needed to run, and that's the best move that I have versus Necrozma. So that's pretty fun. It's enough speed to outspeed a max speed Necrozma. I originally had a max speed Medicham on here just to tie the speed tie the Zapdos, but even at +1 defense, a no bulk Medicham is getting OHKO'd by Brave Bird anyway, so that interaction is definitely not worth it. I'd rather just grab the bulk that I was able to get there. So hopefully that will wind up mattering at some point throughout the match, even if I have to sack this thing off to Marowak or something. So we'll see. But yeah, my wager is that Medicham dies before turn 15, so we'll see. So the next mon I'm bringing would be Nidoqueen, right? Nidoauntie, as I've got it here. The standard sort of sheer force set with the coverage, right? I've got Black Sludge on it because this is liable to take some hits throughout the match. If it winds up having to take like a Poltergeist from Delmise, like that's fine. It can take Fighting Stab from Zapdos pretty well. Aside from like Surf from Heliolisk, which is actually kind of annoying for the team, it's also a good piece to sort of sack off to get my more high power pieces in. If Nidoqueen can come in and set up like one layer of T-Spikes, that is ideal. And this is likely my dedicated lead, because what I'm expecting to happen is he's going to bring Zapdos. I've got Arcanine. He's going to expect me to lead Arcanine to get the sort of slow momentum out, but he's also wanting to fish for the Arcanine Intimidate to proc the Defiant on Zapdos, right? So if I lead this thing, Zapdos gets nothing to hit Nidoqueen super effectively with, and is going to take a lot of recoil on turn 1 from like a raw Brave Bird, right? So my guess is that he would use that time to U-turn into something like Porygon 2, so he can either Ice Beam me or set up like Trick Room. So I would get like turn 1 T-Spikes, turn 2 Taunt, and then I get to go into Arcanine relatively freely and the slow momentum out into something like Dragapult, right? So that by turn 3, I'm hoping I've got a layer of T-Spikes up, a poisoned Porygon 2, right? And then I'm setting myself up for success that way. So if I do need to sack something off, this would probably be one of the things that I would look to do it on. I've got enough speed to outspeed a max speed Mega Mawile. He could opt to run for a very fast very fast Mawile to catch a no investment Mandibuzz. I don't think he would do that though, because I don't think he doesn't net a lot by doing that. But just to be safe, I don't want to find myself in a position in which I'm getting outsped on my offensive check to Mawile. That's never favorable. So we will see. But this thing does actually, with the spread I've got here, the 128 special attack on a modest nature, Earth Power does reliably 2-hit KO non-invested Alomomola. So that's cool too. That's not really a switch in for him. If I can get Nidoqueen in against stuff that's like not Necrozma or Heliolisk or Garchomp even, like it does force a little bit of offensive pressure, which is nice on something that I'm not explicitly meaning to be offensive. So from Nidoqueen, I'll then transfer over to Arcanine, named him Fido because why not? He's a good boy. But the main thing that I've used Arcanine for in the past is a very reliable defensive fire type, and I love that about him. So one of the things that Dragapult really struggles with is steel types, right? So steel types and fairy types. So this match, I'm lucky, and his steel type and fairy type are one and the same. So Arcanine proves to be one of the best defensive mons that I could ask for in this situation, because I'm gonna switch in with my Intimidate, drop him to -1 before Mawile can get behind a substitute or catch me on the knockoff or whatever. I really I thought about making Arcanine justified, just so I wouldn't have to play the games about switching him in to Prog Zapdos's Defiant and dealing with that whole chestnut. But I don't think it's worth it, because between Delmise, Marowak, and Mawile, Arcanine's main purpose is to defensively check those three. Intimidate will help me so much. Even if I get my boots knocked off fairly early on, it's still such a good switch into those, barring like Stone Edge Mawile, which could come, but you know, it's one of those high risk, high reward moves. So it gets the slow momentum with Teleport and Morning Sun for recovery, obviously. So if I could switch into something like Mawile, reliably break a sub, and then teleport out into one of those offensive pieces that we were just talking about, his team will quickly run out of ways to soak the damage, right? So I'm sort of out offensing his offense in this regard, but my last guy here will kind of close everything out and bring it together. So like I mentioned before, most of this guy's team are very physically offensive. One of the best ways that I can counter that, coupled with the fact that he doesn't have defog at all, no ways to get rid of screens or whatever, is to bring my screen, right? So I've got Frisk on Wigglytuff, called him Doombringer, because look at that face, right? Who doesn't who isn't scared of that? But Light Clay, Reflect. If I can reliably set this up and keep it up throughout the game, he's going to have a very hard time out damaging my damage, right? So my plan is to get Wigglytuff in just as soon as possible, set up the rocks so they're there to stay, especially if Delmise doesn't wind up coming, which I don't think it will. It's too slow, and too many of my guys get good special fire coverage to really warrant him coming at all. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So get it in early, set the rocks, maybe set up Reflect if I can. I've got a lot of special defense on this Wigglytuff, just because it will likely be switching into Porygon a couple of times throughout the match. So a +1 Ice Beam, I think, is a 4-hit KO against the spread I've got here, right? So 168 special defense, 80 HP. But then most of what it should be doing is switching into something like a Garchomp, taking like 40% from a Scale Shot, setting up Reflect on likely the Swords Dance, and then Ice Beaming him and killing him that way. So that is the primary focus of Wigglytuff, right? So sort of similarly to Nidoqueen, it's going to come in, it's going to do what it needs to, it's going to die fairly early on so that I can get my other pieces in and close it up, right? So that's the plan. That is my team for week 1 versus Insanity Fang, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you what will wind up being like 20 seconds from now when I cut to the actual match itself. But I'm not actually playing until Friday, and I'm recording this on Sunday. So I'll see you guys here shortly. Thanks. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Rissoux. I am here with my week 1 match. You probably just got done watching my team builder, so I'm here. I loaded up with Fang just now, and we're gonna get it going. So on preview, he did bring the Necrozma, which really just means that Mega Medicham needs to get him a little weakened before it kind of goes ham. It set up a bulk up and then kind of win. One adjustment that I did make in the team builder before you're watching this just now is that I added 20 special defense EVs to Nidoqueen so that Porygon would download a attack boost rather than special attack boost in front of Nidoqueen. if you brought it in. I also give it a Sugar Berry because I'm scared of that Garchomp you see there. I really don't like the idea that he comes in, sets up a Swords Dance, and then Scale Shots his way to victory. So we'll roll with that for the time being. So leads, I really think he's going to lead Necrozma to set up Stealth Rocks, or maybe knock off an item, or he could lead Zapdos. So I think one of the better options I have here is to lead Dragapult. Either lead Dragapult or Arcanine. I'm trying to think. I don't want him to lead Porygon 2 and set up the Marowak, but he didn't bring Mawile, which means I don't have to play around it as much, which is great. So, he didn't bring Delmi, so hazard stacking is fantastic. I really do think he's going to try and pressure my Nidoqueen, because he sees that my hazards are free, so he'll probably lead Necrozma in order to pressure me offensively. So I think what I can do instead is I'll do a sort of middle ground play, and I'll lead Wigglytuff. Get the intel on item, yep, okay. So there is absolutely nothing that Porygon wants to do here, other than set Trick Room and then teleport out. So I think what I'm going to do is get a good turn 1 knockoff. Yep, because I either... Love you too, Fist to your doom. You guys can see the chat there on the side. I'm sure I'll put it somewhere in the video. I don't know if it'll be right next to it, but I don't see much against... Really, I've got kind of a free play here. I like the idea of setting Stealth Rocks just to get him down, and then knocking off a second turn. Because if he goes to the Trick Room, I'll get that knockoff. But what I could also do... No, I like that. Yeah, we'll go... Because if he's trying to offensively pressure Wigglytuff, he's going to go into something like Necrozma, I guess. So if I grab the Stealth Rocks, I'll be able to get that turn 2 intel if he's trying to catch or bait a knockoff, rather. So let's lead Stealth Rocks, yep. Okay, so we led Heliolisk. Now, I don't know what Heliolisk wants to do. I know that it may want to Glare. It may just want to Volt Switch. So I think what I can do, Wigglytuff versus a Heliolisk. Okay, so Thunderbolt is not a 2-hit KO. If he is... I hope this isn't going to be too loud for you guys. I've got a very clacky keyboard. So if he's Specs, if he's Timid Specs, which he would be with Mega Medicham, he's doing like 60 to 70, which would cripple this thing later so that I could not... I really like the idea of... Because this is actually super problematic, because he either reads the switch in a Nidoqueen, goes for a Surf, he can Glare to catch the Dragapult coming in, which are both two excellent defensive answers to Heliolisk, or he can just go for the Raw Volt Switch, which may actually be preferable, but because I see Marowak, Garchomp, and Zapdos in the back, I know that I live 1. I think it will be too important for me to go ahead and grab the 8 turns of Reflect that I know I have access to. So I'll go ahead and do that. He did 43 with Volt Switch, and he's Life Orb. Okay, cool, good intel. Yes, Rom. Wigglytuff is a fantastic mon. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Okay, so he went back into Porygon 2, which tells me that he was scouting for the turn 1 knockoff, which also means he probably will not be expecting it this time, because he did not see me reveal it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yep. The Eviolite off. Trick Room. Fantastic. Now, he could go into Marowak. He's going to teleport out and go into Marowak. But the only thing that I fear here... So, let's think about this. So, my physically defensive Mandibuzz is my sort of default answer for this thing, right? The way he gets around that Mandibuzz is if I were to switch into it now, he's going to teleport, go into either offensive Necrozma or into Heliolisk, because Mandibuzz doesn't do anything back to those two. If I'm trying to force them in, I would need to bring in something that is slower than those mons. So that would mean my Nidoqueen, because I have such a good switch in to Marowak, and that's the only one of those three that would underspeed me. So what I do is I hard switch into Nidoqueen, force him into Marowak, which gets me into Mandibuzz. I'm wasting Trick Room turns, and then I can get a free U-turn out 2 turns from now. So let's see if that's how it shakes out. Yeah. I really do hope the audio... He went Necrozma. Now the question becomes, how do I answer this? Because I don't know what sort of Necrozma this is. If he is... So I'm anticipating a sort of not very fast, but very specially offensive Necrozma with like Photon Geyser, I think it's called, in Power Gem, which means Arcanine is not the switch into this thing. It's not Medicham. Unless he is Trick Room Necrozma. I actually am kind of fast now that I'm looking at it. Yeah. So I hit 219, which is for that max speed Mawile. If he is like Quiet Min Speed, he's gonna hit 146, which, yeah, he's gonna underspeed a lot of my team. This is actually problematic. So he's gonna be slower. I think what I do, so I've got 5 turns of Reflect left. That Reflect is only really good for the Garchomp and the Zapdos. So what I think I need to do is, because he's taking Stealth Rock Chip, is that if I go into... I can go into Wigglytuff, get the free Scout on the item, and then maybe double back out, because I'll take a... I'm fairly specially defensive, so I'll take a Power Gem and a Photon Geyser relatively well. I may live. So this max special attack Power Herb variant I'm looking at here, the Quiet Photon Geyser, is doing a max of 62. Yeah, that'd be a roll. All right, so middle ground play. Let's see what the item is. He is Power Herb. Fantastic. Okay. Which, how am I gonna bait that? So I think what I do, I go for the knockoff. Even if he goes into Porygon, so I'm guaranteed slower here, which is great. He's not room service. So the only thing he goes into that doesn't lose an item here is Porygon. And that's great because he will run out of Trick Room turns, and that gets me into Medicham with 2 or 3 turns of Reflect left. So I like that, actually. I really like that. Best case, he lets me knock off his... Power. Yep. Cool. And now he's got to wait the turn. He's also locking himself into a rock move, which I don't think particularly matters. I could... Let me think about this. Because I could switch in Medicham right now to take the Meteor Beam. It's going to take, let's see, non-Mega. It's going to take like 35% as Trick Room ends. But then he gets to immediately Photon Geyser me the following turn. So he's already in like +1 double edge range. Even if he's max HP, he's already in range. Because the roll is 65 to 76 at +1 double edge. So I think what I do instead is go Nidoqueen. So because he's got Power Beam, he doesn't have Power Gem, which to me says I get a free switch into Nidoqueen, and then I can double into Mandibuzz for the Foul Play or the U-turn. I think the U-turn is preferable because it'll be probably a slow U-turn. Well, yeah, I frisked you. I'm glad they said something in the chat. So he's, yeah, all right. So let's do this. Nidoqueen, what do I take from the Meteor Beam? So I'm gonna take like 20% or something. I'm trying to think if he is slower. I don't know that he's min speed, which is a problem. Let's go Nidoqueen for the resisted meteor beam. You miss anyway, so that's fine. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. So now I'll go Mandibuzz. It can, yeah. I want to say it's like a 90% accurate move. It's pretty strong though. How strong is Meteor Beam? 120, yeah. It's really cool though. It gets you the +1 special attack. So because his rock type move is a 2-turn move, he can't actually reliably answer Arcanine or Mandibuzz with this set unless he's got something like Dark Pulse, which he could, very well could. But with this sort of set, he's probably got Autotomize. So if he's got Moonlight Autotomize, Photon Geyser, and Meteor Beam, that's a decent set. Yeah, that would have to be the set. But Mandibuzz gets in for free against him because it doesn't get electric coverage, doesn't get ice coverage. So I'm not at risk of eating a Thunderbolt or an Ice Beam. So I do that. My Reflect is running out, which is a problem. But what I can do now is I can get this free U-turn, yeah. And then he either Photon Geysers again. So he's +1 special attack. I don't want anything to take this, so what I think I do, what is Dragapult doing? So Shadow Ball kills. It kills every day of the week. So I think what I do is I cut my losses. I really should have foul played, shouldn't I? Yeah, I went a little quick there. I knew he couldn't do anything, and that was my mistake. I don't think I will need Wigglytuff or anything at this point. The Reflect would be great. I can't really set it up anymore. Matter of fact, was Wigglytuff faster than P2? It was, I think. Well, both the moves he went for were negative priority, which doesn't tell me anything. A Wigglytuff, Porygon 2. If he is min speed, he actually would underspeed me by 1 point. I don't know if he would put that sort of investment into it. I don't think I get anything from it either. So I think I can just U-turn into Wigglytuff. Kind of, yeah, that's gonna suck, but oh well. Oh, okay. So he Morning Sunned. That's actually ideal because I know that you can't touch Mandibuzz. Okay, so now I wonder. Foul play, see what kind of damage this is gonna do. Mandibuzz to Necrozma, 33%. Okay. So I'm faster too, which is interesting. Which means you are absolutely not invested. You're like Trick Room Necrozma. So I think what I do now, I'm gonna grab the free taunt. Okay. Foul play for the damage. This kind of sucks actually. It's not a definitive 2-hit KO. So at this point, I think he realizes this is a losing battle. Give me 1 sec here. I'm gonna take away the dog's toy because I'm sure you guys can hear him crunching on it in the background. Give me a sec here. I probably should have looked at my audio volume before I went to go do that. So I hope I'm at about the same. But yeah, nothing that he really wants to do gets him. Nothing really gets him positive momentum. He can get into Heliolisk relatively freely, but then you just Volt Switch out. So he's offensive, Life Orb, he's for sure got Surf, which means Nidoqueen is not a switch into that. I don't want to... Yeah. So the thing that I explained in the team builder is that Dragapult's flamethrower is going to be 25% extra damage to the Heliolisk because he has no reason to be anything other than Dry Skin. Dry Skin gives you a 25% increase to fire moves. So Heliolisk, after taking another thing of rocks damage, or another turn of rocks damage anyway, flamethrower, yeah, it's not quite doing. Heat Wave is his other move. Okay. Which means, what is his... I'm trying to think of what his... I think what I do is I go... Okay. So assuming it's full set, it's Heat Wave. He can't really hit Arcanine either. But I can't, because I'm letting Mandibuzz get chipped down, I cannot let him chip Arcanine. So I think what I do is I get into Dragapult, right? And then between Dragapult and Mandibuzz, let's see. So U-turn is going to do one. I already did that up here. U-turn did 15% to this guy. Okay, so 15%. Mandibuzz to Dragapult, excuse me, Necrozma. Okay, that's about right. So he's like max HP. So 15% from there, plus another 23%. Yeah, I'm for sure killing him with a U-turn. So I think what I do is I sack Wigglytuff. Yeah, I want to sack Wigglytuff. Okay, and then I go Dragapult, and then I get the U-turn for the kill. Because he either switches out into Porygon, which gets me into Medicham for free, or he just dies. The Necrozma dies. So, well, Ghost, you're gonna find out what the nickname means when you watch this video. Probably tomorrow on Saturday. Yeah, last season I think I did Game of Thrones nicknames for all of my mons. Okay, so that did kill. Fantastic. So now what I need to do is get... What I need to do is get a layer of T-Spikes up. Because 4 of the last 5 are affected by them. The only thing that he's going to want to answer me with is Garchomp. I don't think if I go Nidoqueen, he's going to go Heliolisk, because that's ultimately what I really need to avoid. Because if he is Life Orb, Surf... Oh, I overwrote Hyper Voice there. So Life Orb, Surf, I actually live one, and I don't know how important that is. I think it's relatively important, because what I can do is get 1 layer T-Spikes up, and that puts a timer on everything left. I don't have ice coverage for the Garchomp. I can't trade 1 for 1 that way. But what I can do is get that layer of T-Spikes up. I think I like that as opposed to my remaining options, because I still do think that Zapdos is Scarf. I don't know, unless that's Scarf Garchomp for some reason. I don't know what his planned Dragapult answer is going to be. So, barring him barring him sending out Marowak after the fact, I really like going Nidoqueen for the layer T-Spikes. I live the Surf. I know I live the Earthquake from Garchomp, which he might actually set rocks on Nidoqueen. So we might just trade hazards there. And I think I'm fine with that, because I can take an Earthquake. If he's not like Life Orb or Banded, he's doing about half through Shukaberry with this thing. And that's acceptable, I think. He does go Garchomp. Okay, so now the question becomes... So this becomes a question of... If he Scale Shots me right here, right? He would Swords Dance, then Scale Shot, and I think that would kind of be game, right? So I think because my Mandibuzz is weakened, if he just goes for it, how bad is that? I let my Dragon immunity go down too early. Decisions. Because what happens is that he has to land a Stone Edge. I think I'm going to wind up coming down to that eventuality either way. So I think he's just going to get, yep. Okay. So if he did that, he is now -1 defense. So what I think happens, Mandibuzz, Garchomp, he has to beat Stone Edge. Because that's not going to, let me think. Garchomp, he's -1 defense, which actually doesn't mean very much. Foul play is still going to kill him. So I think what I do, I'm just going to hit him with the Earth Power. I should have been Ice Punch. That actually would have been a better bring than Flamethrower. Now I'm thinking about it, but it's fine. I don't think I'm in trouble yet. Because what I'm going to do, so if you went for the Earthquake, I live, I got the Earth Power off, it's fantastic. Okay. Now, he's actually really bulky. Hold on. Why did that do so little? Nidoqueen to Garchomp, I did 21% with Earth Power. You are like max special defense. Yeah, why are you careful? That's so odd. Hold on, why? I actually don't understand that calc. So he's for sure not invested at all. He got like a decently high roll on the Earthquake through the Shuka. Yeah, I don't understand that calc. I'm gonna break the fourth wall a little bit here just to make sure. 116 modest. Yeah, I must have just gotten the lowest possible roll. It was the calculator is reading 24 to 28, but that's also okay, I think, because Mandibuzz now isn't even KO'd by Stone Edge. So I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. I'm just gonna Earth Power. Actually, is it worth my no? Because what he does is he scale shots, and then it doesn't matter what his second move is if I go into Mandibuzz. So I think what I do, I'm just gonna Earth Power for the damage. He goes to +2. Okay, so I definitely kill him now with this, barring any sort of crazy crit. He's not going to let me kill him, though. I think what he does is he goes Heliolisk for the momentum, right? He knows the Foul Play kills him. He knows that he can't kill me, which I think means that I will be good. Let me look at one last calc before I do this. What is that thing? Marowak. What is Marowak? So Flare Blitz from a Marowak. He dies on entry, though. I do not... I think it's fine. So what I'm going to do, and this is super fucking weird. Yeah, there you go, Rom. You figured it out, man. So if I do Mandibuzz into Garchomp, right? So he's no investment. He's like super, especially bulky, right? Stone Edge is going to do 37. I'm at 57. Rough Skin will not land me anywhere. Actually, no. Because I am within range of dying. The question is, do I let him stay in here any longer? He's not set up. I'm not forced to make this exchange. And realistically, this beats the remaining 3 that he's got. So I'm just going to... He missed the Stone Edge. That's actually fantastic. That was the only way he was getting through, but the Stone Edge with this investment was doing 37.8 max. So he really has no reason to stay in here now. So I think what I can do I get a free foul play. It's going to do a lot to the Heliolisk coming in. Maybe 30%. Yeah, like 40% to this thing. Especially because does Life Orb? It doesn't factor into that. No. Okay. So I get my free foul play on the Porygon. That's actually even better. Because now what happens is I get a free taunt. You haven't seen the taunt yet. You're going to Ice Beam me? Yep. That's actually fine. Because now I just get to Roost-All you. I'm going to lose my flying type every turn because I'm definitively faster. Short of him freezing me, which is actually kind of problematic, I don't see a reason to not get at least this first Roost off, get me back up to 75%, and then slow U-turn, or fast U-turn, as it were, into Arcanine. Heliolisk, that's actually preferable, because now I'm going to get some good damage on you. So, of the Mons I have left, Arcanine is the most expendable, right? So, Mandibuzz gets through everything but this. So I think what I can do is go Arcanine. I should have been specially bulky. That's kind of an error. But, so what I'll do, it's actually going to hurt. So he's going to Thunderbolt here, right? I don't have a resist I really care on going into. So Thunderbolt plus Volt Switch may or may not kill. It probably will, though. He's got like a... Bennett, please. It's almost time for them to eat, and they know it. So I have to prioritize keeping Mandibuzz healthy at all costs. So what I'm going to do is hard switch into... I have to hard switch into Arcanine. I don't have really anything else to do at the moment. Yeah, I think that's my best bet. Sorry, that was probably kind of loud. Alright, let's do it. So he gets the free Thunderbolt off, yep. Now, I don't think what he does... Let me think. So Dragapult, right? Dragapult and the Heliolisk. The worst thing he does to me is Glare. I know he's got Surf, he's got Volt Switch. He might have Glare. He might. I really do think he would have went Surf Hyper Voice, just 4 attacks. So the question becomes, do I lose this game if I go into Dragapult to get the resisted Thunderbolt and or Hyper Voice immunity / Surf resist to get the momentum? Because what I can do is just Flamethrower, and that's really it, because I don't think I lose anything. You're not going to Glare. You're just going to go for the kill. And I resist and or am immune to everything that you're about to go for. He went Marowak. That's actually best case. That's fantastic. I'm not sure what the play was there, if I'm being honest. Absolute best case, I like Bulldoze or Scorching Sands. It doesn't really matter. So I think I'm just going to take my free kill. I'm just going to Shadow Ball. Because anything that comes in is going to take chip and die. Porygon is pretty close to death. Zapdos cannot, under any circumstances, get through Mandibuzz without a crit. And I need to poke a hole. I think another hole with what is that thing? Medicham. I don't really see Medicham doing much. I almost wish I would have taken that Thunderbolt with Medicham earlier. Although I'm not sure what that would have... Alright. He's just going to take the kill. So now I really think he's going to go into Zapdos here. Sort of show me the Scarf. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure you went Porygon just for the sack. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. No, I feel that. I've been taking my time all game with these moves, so... Okay, so it's 9%. This is a free U-turn kill, I think. I can't imagine, excuse me, that, yeah, U-turn to max HP Eviolite does 10% minimum. So there's absolutely no way this lives a U-turn. The question becomes, what do I go into? So once I U-turn, right, I think I have to go... I can't go Arcanine, because then he gets the free +1 with Zapdos, and that's just not... That's not at all gravy. Did Mandibuzz get 2-shot if Zapdos is... Let me just check that. I should have ran this before. Choice Band... I don't think it does. Choice Band, Brave Bird. It does. So it does 55 to 65. Which I think just means that I sack it off to... I sack... yeah. Alright, somebody get this free turn, or free kill rather. And then I have to go... Let me think. I want to force the Heliolisk in, because he gets maybe one more... Yeah, I'm going to go Mandibuzz, learn Heliolisk so that he takes damage. Yeah. And then I got to go right back out into Dragapult, I think. Am I doing anything with Medicham? At this point, I'm not. However, I don't want to just give him a differential. I really don't see... So the way this goes bad, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the way this goes bad is if he Volt Switches, because then he gets in the Scarf Zapdos for basically free, and that's not ideal. So the way I get around that is if I hard switch to Arcanine, sack it off, I get the negative momentum so that he goes into either Zapdos or Garchomp. Which foul play, yeah, there's no way. I don't think if he's banded Zapdos, he doesn't get through Dragapult, or he gets killed by Dragapult. He would have to be Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf never, ever gets through Mandibuzz. He would kill himself to his own recoil. Unless he's Thunderous Kick, which I'm Big Peck, so it doesn't matter. So, I'm going to go Arcanine, sack it off. Yep. Alright. He's got one hit left with this thing. So I basically... So at this point, I win with Dragapults. Yeah, it sucks because you really need more turns on the field with Heliolisk, but you don't have it. So I think at this point I'm gonna grab a... Let me think. So you are max. However, have I seen your item? You could be Habanberry. Like max. Let me think. Ooh. So if you are careful, max Garchomp with... Are you a Salt Vest? Let me look. So Habanberry does a min of 44 with Draco Meteor. I have absolutely no reason to do that. If you were a Salt Vest, Draco would kill. There's just no reason for me to do that. So I think what I'm going to do instead, because you have absolutely zero bulk, is I'm just going to go Medicham and get a free Drain Punch off. Because at this point, Medicham is getting me nothing else. It's going to die to a Brave Bird from Zapdos, or it's going to take a lot of damage from Heliolisk. Matter of fact, it's Heliolisk. Heliolisk doesn't even kill. That's kind of cool, actually. So what I do is I think I just Drain Punch. Because Garchomp is going to be max HP, Drain Punch, kills every day of the week. I'm going to be faster. Do I go for the Zen Headbutt? Because the way he gets out of this is if he goes Zapdos on the Drain Punch. I think I do. Because if you are not offensively invested, Earthquake is not doing that much. So I think I do. Let's see if you switch. I don't think so. That's a 90% move. I like the idea of Zen Headbutting. I don't like the idea of it possibly being a dead turn with miss, in case I miss. Um, Do I lose if I miss? I don't think so, but it really depends. He has to lock himself into Brave Bird with Zapdos, because he can't lock in with a fighting move. I've still got Dragapult around. I think I just Zen. Yeah, I'm just gonna Zen Headbutt. If I miss, I miss, but it is what it is. I don't think it's the end of the world, because I either miss, he gets the damage off, and then I kill him the next round. I catch the Zapdos on the switch in, or I sack this thing off to. He's faster. Yeah, I don't understand that calc at all. A little while ago, then. Okay, gets damage. It's fine. Now he has to go Zapdos, and I don't see a reason for me to stay in and risk that. Oh, that's regular Zapdos. Doesn't get Roost, right? He could be some sort of... Matter of fact, that's what I do. I have to stay in and kill him. He might bring Heliolisk in here. If he does, I think that's not optimal for him, because he's going to just kill himself, right? Let me think. Yeah. Coco. I know it's almost time, sweetheart. They normally eat at 8 p.m. EST, and this is 7:49 now that I'm recording this. I'm curious, how long have we been in here? We've been in here a solid 35 minutes, so this is going to be like an hour plus video. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm gonna see if I need to learn how to edit in DaVinci Resolve. That's the video editor that I choose to use. It's a fantastic app. I just don't quite know the ins and outs of it, so we will see how that goes. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape here, because he either goes Zapdos, locks in a Brave Bird, or yeah, that's exactly what happens. He goes Zapdos, locks in a Brave Bird. I go into my full HP. Yep. So the only way he kills, let me think here. So 252, I can't let him set up like agility. That's how I lose. So I have to, yep, okay. Now I have to go Mandibuzz. Actually, do you kill me with a Adamant Scarf Brave Bird to Dragapult? You do not. Under no circumstances do you kill me, and unless you have a lot of bulk, I kill you with Draco Meteor, but that's not ideal yet. So if I am Mandibuzz, I just get the slow U-turn out. Come back in, Draco Meteor. Yeah, I don't think there's a way I lose this at this point. So what I'm going to do, because he's locked in the Brave Bird, I think I'm just going to U-turn. He'll do 40%. Yep, that'll put him in range of Draco, and then that's game. Okay. Cool. Yep, now I go here. Dragapult to Zapdos. I almost wonder if it's worth... No, it's not. It gets me back in the same spot I was in. So he's 50%. Draco, it wouldn't even matter. I think what I need to do is just click Draco, because he's gonna, yep. Yep, now he goes Heliolisk. I get my Flamethrower kill, and that's it. Good game to Fang. I appreciate the week 1 match off there, man. It was a good game. You really needed to make some free agent transactions. I felt like my game plan was very straightforward there, and it was kind of hard for you to stop. But you brought a lot of good sets. The Scarf Zapdos was kind of telegraphed. It was either going to be that or Garchomp, but it was a neat Necrozma set. It's just unfortunate you couldn't quite get the most out of it. So good game to you, and I hope to see you later in the season. Thanks for everybody in the cheap seats who sat with me through this, I think, hour-long video it's going to be now. And hope you like listening to me. So we'll see you for the rest of the season, guys. All right. Have a good night.